So today we are looking at some parts for the Ford Focus. It's coming up for an MOT in about 4 to 6 weeks time. So those of you who aren't aware of what an MOT is, motor vehicle overhaul test. It's an annual test that all cars in the UK over 3 years old have to prove roadworthiness. And for car owners it's a pretty stressful time, but I think it'll be okay. So there's a couple of things that I need to take account of. The first thing is that you know, on the previous MOT, when you buy a car, have a look at the MOT history. In the UK you can do that. You can go on the government website, put the registration number of the vehicle in, and you can have a look at the MOT history of the vehicle. So if it's littered with stuff and the same things keep reoccurring as advisories, you know, well, that vehicle's not particularly well looked after, move on, find something else. Unless you seriously want a project vehicle. This one was pretty well looked after. It had good service history, and it had an advisory which apparently is quite common for Ford Focuses, lower suspension bushes, and the ball joint was starting to wear. So get this, thought I'd get that replaced. So I need to sort these out, change these, so we're going to have a quick look at these. And then also there's a front spring which has got a crack in the bottom of it, so I'm going to get those changed as well. Apparently it's quite a common thing on the Focuses for spring braking and things like front suspension components to wear. What I am loving about this as opposed to the Jeep, which I no longer have, long story, we won't go into that, is the fact that the parts, you know, compared to the Jeep, are relatively cheap. So a pair of these Wishbones, which is what's being replaced. I don't go in for pressing out bushes and putting new bushes in. That is a royal pain. Life is too short. I can't be bothered with that, or the stress and aggro of it. So it's just easier to bolt and unbolt the whole parts. Now, for a pair of these Wishbones, let's have a quick look at one of them. Okay. So, and this is the part here that is, I quite like the fact that they put a little protective thing over. I've bought some of these before in the past and there's no protection on it at all. So it can just get smacked or bent around, and it's a bit sort of annoying. But anyway, so this is the part that's worn, the ball joint part of it. So that's why they need replacing. And a pair of these, straight swap out, £56. Now, some of you might think £56, that's a lot. Seems super cheap to me, and I'll tell you for why. A lot of the Jeep component parts, obviously, I appreciate they're going to be bigger and more heavy duty, double that easily for the smallest bits. The springs, so we've got a pair of springs here, there's no point, I'm not going to bother unpacking those. They were from somebody different anyway. They were £30. I mean, £30 for a pair of springs for a diesel. I couldn't believe it. I'm loving Parts Life on this Ford for sure. So these were from Maxspeedingrods. There was a card in the pack here somewhere. There we go. They do a lot of stuff. I'd not come across them before until I saw them on Instagram. They're a Chinese company, but they're doing a lot of stuff, and I see a lot of people over YouTube and so forth doing lots of things, and they're, you know, I mean, they're sort of sponsoring touring car independent teams and things like that. So they do standard parts like this, and they also do sort of some quite tasty looking upgrade parts for turbos and crankshafts and carbs and coilovers and forged parts and all that kind of stuff. So what does it say here? Dear customer, your satisfaction is our top priority. Marvellous. Apparently I've got 4 million customers all over the world. I've got a lot of stuff. I'll certainly be looking at them for other parts for the Focus. I'm not sure they do anything for the MR2, but the MR2 is a bit of a niche vehicle anyway, whereas Fords generally you get them all over the place, obviously, very popular. So what's the plan with these? Now I was going to fit them myself, but I'm not sure with work. Work is very busy for me at the moment, so I'm not sure I'm going to have the time for that. So I'm probably going to get a Ford place local to me to fit them. And you might say, oh Mark, that's copping out though, you usually fit all this stuff. And yes, normally I do, however, if you haven't got the time, you haven't got the time. But I will let you know if there's any issues with the fitting of them. Now one thing to bear in mind with these is the ball joint size. I've got what's classed as the Mark 2.5, which is 08 to, I think the last one they made of that facelift Focus was to 2011, and then they changed it to the Mark 3. There's two different sizes of, put this in and out here, don't I? Of this this thread here. There's one that's 18mm and there's one that's 21mm, that is. The later one, I believe, which I've been reliably informed, is 21mm. So we will find out come fitting time, won't we? So that's that, and then I shan't unpack these. These were from a different company, but there's the springs to go on as well, and then we should be MOT ready. So I'll leave a link. That's the word. I'll leave a link for these in the bottom if you're looking for that kind of part. Do, however, let me know in the comments if you're interested in seeing, you know, an overview of the Focus, or you know, a tour or that kind of stuff. There are some things that I am going to be doing with it, which I will do as videos. So if you've got any sort of requests or anything, let me know, and I'll stop warbling, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.